Hey guys, Mike Frangias here. As you know, I shoot these little vlogs or videos as I drive into work or drive home to kill my commute because I'm sick of listening to the radio and I ran out of podcasts. So basically today I just wanted to go over some trust things that I see with the employees and the employer in elevator companies. So let's just jump right into it. So, day one, or you're meeting your potential employee. You sit down with them, you talk, the employee tells you, his history, his experience, and you're giving him feedback saying this is what we're looking for, and he agrees with you and it's a perfect fit. So you call him on that Friday and say, hey, look, we want to hire you. Welcome to the Joe Elevator team. Can you come in on Monday and start? So now you're all excited. You're happy that you're starting this new venture. Everyone's congratulating you on going there to the new company, and it's going to be exciting. You're at home telling your family how excited you are, how great this is going to be, and you really want to put your foot forward with this company. And you can't sleep over the weekend. Sunday comes, you got the butterflies, you're all nervous, you're making sure all your stuff is in order to go to the new company. Monday arrives, you go in there happily, smiley, with the new energy, with this new source of you can do anything, and this is what happens. You sit down at the desk, you start filling out your paperwork, everything's standard. You give them your license, you fill out your W-2 forms, your 9 forms, whatever they are, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this sneaky little NDA agreement that slid across the desk. Now, what's an NDA agreement? Well, most of you know it's a non-disclosure agreement, and they also will probably put in there a non-solicitation agreement and maybe another type of agreement along those lines. Basically saying, while you work for this company, you can't talk to any other elevator companies. You can't, after you leave here for 2 years or 3 years, you can't work in this industry. You can't talk to any of our clients, any of our employees. You can't do anything. You're locked in for 2 years after you leave here, which is kind of illegal, but I'm not going to get into that. And on the solicitation side of it, is very legal. You can't poach other people's clients. Like I said, you can't call up and say, hey, I'm now over here. We had a good relationship over a Joe Elevator, but now I'm over here. Why don't you come over with me over here? So, right then and there, your employee is kind of hit on the side, and the wind of his sails are just knocked right out. Now, that trust, or the beginning formation of trust, is it's crushed. You crushed him, you crushed his feelings, and now, as he works for you, any little thing is going to build resentment. And he feels that he's locked into, like a lot of people I know, they feel they're locked into this company, as miserable as they are, where they can go down the block to another company and maybe be happier. But because of these agreements that they have signed, they're done. So at that point, do you feel you're getting the best work out of your employees, whether it's 6 months from when they start, whether it's 5 years or 10 years from when they start? If they don't want to be there, they're not going to give you their all. They're just going through the paces. And it all started with this one thing of, I don't trust you, and I'm going to lock you up from working in this industry for a certain amount of years, and you should worry about any move you make outside of this company. Well, it's a scary feeling. So I don't agree with it. I know that, like I said, any lawyer, any other manager is going to say it's a very important thing that we need to protect our company. Here's my thought process. If you show trust in your employee, you bring him in, you don't sign one of these agreements, and you give him the tools that he needs as an employee, as an employer, to grow and be successful, then he moves on to someplace else, Well, I'm going to congratulate that guy because I feel that I was a part of his success or her success. And to me, that's going to go down the line with other companies. Oh, you came from Joe Elevator? Well, now that employee's going to speak highly of you. Yeah, no, there was a good manager over there. He taught me this, but it was really time for me to spread my wings and move on. But yeah, no, this guy was the best. You're only going to get positive things coming from that if you treat it in a positive light. Now, what's the worst thing that could happen? Because we all know it's, you know, some of these partnerships with employees and employer, you know, isn't exactly fantasy land. It's not fairies and butterflies, and it's not a great relationship sometimes, and sometimes you know, it ends badly. Okay, well, what's the worst thing that happens? He goes down the block to one of my accounts and says, hey, I'm over here now, why don't you come with me? Well, I feel very, very firmly in the fact that if I've treated my clients well and they've been with me and they trust me, they're not going down the block just on a whim. It's not going to happen. As much as that person thinks he can take 100 elevators or 50 elevators, if I'm treating my customers properly, they're not going to go. And they're also not going to go and take a chance on someone new starting out of the gate. So I feel there's no positives in pushing NDA agreement and non-solicitation agreement. I feel it just promotes a bunch of negatives. You know, from my standpoint, like I said, worst case that can happen. So he steals a client. Well, then shame on me because I didn't take care of that client's needs properly. But, you know, my employee can never say that I was holding him back and develop all that resentment throughout the years because, you know, I kept him there on a contract and he got out when we figured out, you know, a way to get out that wasn't going to affect him, or he took a chance getting out and did it quietly. You know, it shouldn't be like that. On the other side of the fence, let's say it's a field employee. Let's say they're coming from the union. Okay, and this kid messed up a couple times in his life, but now he's older, he has a family, he has kids, you know, and he knew he made some mistakes. Maybe some of his bad habits are still with him. But once again, he's excited to come aboard with you, and then he comes to the office, and then you plop down a drug test. Well, that's showing him that you don't trust him right off the get-go. Now, do I understand there's liabilities involved, there's insurance involved, there's life and death involved. You don't want an employee working on your job site intoxicated. But I also see with the lapse of weed rules and laws lately, it's still a condition, at least I know of in this union, that if you have weed in your system, that's a no-no. So, yeah, it's a dumbass thing on the employee's part for coming in that way, but now you just kicked him out and ruined his life as far as being in the industry. But maybe the kid just needs some guidance, you know? I'm not saying that it wouldn't drug test him, but I feel it's kind of like you need to do it randomized. You need to do it if there's a situation that occurs, absolutely. But I always want to give my employees the benefit of the doubt. You know, I always want to back them up. I don't want to accuse them of anything, and you know, they're innocent until proven guilty, really. And I don't want from day one to start that report, because once again, if you treat an employee right, you give them everything that they need, 5-10 years from now, whether it's still with you or whether they're with someone else, they're going to speak highly of you, and that goes very, very far. And even when they're working from you, if you're good to your employees, I'm not saying bend over backwards for them. I'm saying being reasonable, being a human to your employees. You know, they're going to be in the lobby of a building telling the concierge how great you are. And you can't buy that advertising. Your employees are the reflection of you. So if you start off on a bad foot, or you start off not trusting them, or not giving them the benefit of the doubt and not developing them and maybe helping them and maybe guiding them along their path, well, then shame on you, and you're going to get the standard robot or number employee through the system. They're going to do whatever the rule book says and not anything more, and that's as far as you're going to go. If you start off on a good footprint with them, or whatever you want to call it, they're going to go above and beyond for you in ways that you could never even measure. They're not going to mind staying an hour later. They may not charge you for the overtime. They may go somewhere in their own time. But as soon as you start throwing this at them and that at them and this rule and this limitation, well, then they're really going to go as strictly by the book as they can. All right, it's 12 o'clock exactly, lunchtime, stop what I'm doing, even though this is a hospital with 5 elevators shut down. They're not going to have that mentality of let's fix this and get the client going, because you treat them like crap, they're going to treat you like crap. It's just simple math. Same goes back to the management. They're not going to go out and stand on that milk crate and sing the company's praises because it's not true. They don't feel that they work for somewhere that's great or special, because you already clipped their wings from day one with all this litigation and paperwork saying that they're held to you like they're captive and they got handcuffs on. Would you want that? I mean, I know most of you have signed it, but really? So that was just my quick thought on that issue of some trust levels from day one, from hiring an employee, and how I can see it kind of growing into resentment, and some of the negative aspects of it, and some of the positive aspects if you don't do it. Now, I'm not right on everything, and like I said, I'll probably get 50 comments of you're an idiot, but that's just how I feel on this. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.